Your very own Mr. Entertainment. Mark Mulgrew on 107.8 Black Diamond FM.
That's me. And Stand By Me, well, standing and sitting by me is Bobby Heatlie. Great stuff, Bobby. We played that last song there, Thinking of You. And you're right, you know, when you were introducing the track and saying, you know, it's just like an old standard. It's just,
oh, yeah.
Just nice and...
Yeah, as I said to you earlier, that I often wish I lived through that period. To be a songwriter then must have been wonderful, because you had songwriters and you had singers. Mm-hmm. There was plenty of work for everybody. Yeah. Then the Beatles came along and destroyed that.
I mean, obviously, you worked and played through that era and saw all these, you know, successful bands, and then the songwriting for yourself. And you played in a lot of backing bands as well over the years, you know, all the way around Edinburgh, and played in a lot of clubs and stuff as well.
I did all the clubs. Oh, yeah.
Was it as good? I mean, I've been doing it for a number of years, but was it as good back in the day as it was?
Oh, yeah, it was a gig, you know.
Yeah.
And, it was fine, yeah. I played them all. And some great stories as well.
Yes, and I'm sure there's some that we could hear, and there's probably some that we can't.
As a friend of mine was playing in a club down in North of England, and... they were taking their PA in the afternoon.
Yep.
And some old guy who came along with a cloth cap on, of course. We opened the door and let them in. And he sat on a chair by the door as they carried all these speakers in. Now, this is the period when they had the big bass bins, the mid speakers and the tweeters and all that sort of thing. You know, like two big black bonfires at the side of the stage. So they're carrying all this gear in. And the old guy said, I hope you're not going to be loud, son. No. He says, don't let that. The size of the PA is to do with quality, not volume, you know, quality of sound. Oh, right, aye. So after their first number that night, they saw him walking down towards the band, and when they finished, he said, could you just turn your quality down a wee bit? And there's a million stories like that from the clubs, you know.
It still happens now, you know. You go in with a couple of 450 watt speakers, no need for bass bins in most places. You go in with a couple of 450 watt speakers, and they say, oh, that's great, they've got a couple of small speakers. And then the thump starts to come out, and you know, you've got people for the back. I've had people putting hankies in their ears and everything.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yep,
it happens. But that, you know, and that's life on the road, and it's a good grounding for for any musician.
Yep.
And
wouldn't change it really.
You must have had some experiences, but I can imagine. Now the songwriting, we spoke briefly off air about that. You know that you were lucky enough to have had was it a publishing deal, or you worked with EMI Music?
Yep, I got signed to EMI Music, I think late 70s, and I think I might have been with them for about 8 years, or maybe 9, round about that, you know. Yeah, I did okay actually there. First cover was Davy Jones and the Monkees. Didn't do anything. That time he was sort of big in Japan, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know how well it did. I don't think it did that great. And I've had lots of covers all over the world from people you've probably never heard of. Anita Sarawak from Indonesia and all these crazy things. But it's pennies in the bank, you know.
Well, that's it, you know, and it's obviously it's a gift and it's a talent in itself, songwriting. You know, I've had a lot of songwriters who've been in, but there's also the production side to it as well.
Yep.
You know, it's been able to hear what you have,
you have
and
to
then
present
and then being able to present it in good quality.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I spend days on one song, you know, to get it right, you know, because that's what sells it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, not for me. As he gets his hanky out.
Oh no, I mean you still do all right. You still produce some good stuff.
Yeah, but I don't get any covers now. It's all over, basically, you know. But the game is kind of finished, really.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's hard to get into the door, you know. I recently sent a demo to EMI. When did I leave them? Quite a long time ago. I sent a demo to them and I wrote a little letter. Dear sir, I used to be a writer with your company, you know, blah, blah, blah. I've got this little song, you know, and but I never got a reply.
Well, it happens, doesn't it? And, you know, and that's part of. In fact, we were talking earlier on. I was talking to Liz off air, and there was a question said about, you know, young Scottish talent. Unfortunately, so much talent doesn't get discovered nowadays.
Yeah.
But there isn't as many A&R people who come up, you know, and go on the search, and everything's all sort of centralised in London, and everything's maybe not necessarily done, you know, going out looking for live acts. A lot of stuff is done online, it's submitted online, and it's done that way, you know, which I think takes the passion out of it as well, because you know, you don't see people like Katie Tunstall, as you're saying, you know, performing on a bar and doing the actual job of entertaining people.
Yep. I think the bubble's burst now, actually. The whole downloading. I mean, that's what they always claim. There's no money in it anymore now. They don't make so much money, so they can't sign up people. There's no big deals going on anymore, People more or less have to come up with an album paid for by themselves,
Yeah.
and then hopefully get that away. But it's difficult. It's really, really difficult.
It's a tough old game.
I'm glad I got in when I got in. Really am.
Well, I suppose when you're born, so not really got much of a choice. Now we're going to play a final track, and I am not going to attempt to say what this is called.
Well, this is a song I wrote for a Russian song festival, which was like the Russian Eurovision Song Contest, Romania, Bulgaria. And it was called Drushba i Mir, which is Russian for peace and friendship. It was a festival to celebrate Gorbachev. He was the man who was going to change everything, So that's why this festival was organised, and it won. And it got great response, And afterwards I thought, wow, I'd love to write a musical and incorporate that song into the musical. It's a real big, you'll hear it in a minute, it's quite a big number. So I wrote a musical, spent a long time, 2 hours and 20 minutes worth of music and lyrics. But got nowhere with it, and was told basically somebody like me, there's no chance of anything happening there, And then I had an idea for Andrea Bocelli, I thought it'd be good for him. So I did a new recording of it, and I got my friend Colin Chisholm to sing it. But I didn't want to go to the trouble of getting an Italian lyricist to write lyrics, because in the back of my head I knew nothing would happen eventually, So I just made up this gobbledygook, mock Italian, and Colin sang it. You just play it and you'll hear it. Unfortunately, nothing happened with it.
Here we go. Well, it might.
The title. It's called O se bien appore tormida.
See, that's why I got you to say it.
It's just rubbish.
Con me e viento. Inoltre e la dise Constanta era vero con te visa ma certo e so dubre fallujo contabre et affuscio chi e fe mi contane e furadu assente cora lascio ma contendo enterato Cassapone osservo da Mossa disra e la nobre l'era quanta o la sobre come la concesso va presumelo o si bien a po' e fora e la ronde modesti se fora del puse tem e del viso te aussi bien a paura tormida e pulla è forrato e questo è bellate ti amondeco per tu esaquento forraggio o lavoro o l'atto che sta via che sta che sta sì così bien a po' e fora e la rande motte vi se fora del puse tem e del viso soledad. Esa cuento foaggio o lavoro o lato che sta via, che sta che sta sei. Così bien a paura e fora e la randa ma vezzi se fora le appuse e me del viso te così bien obremi formidà.
There you go.